it feels a little bit like we're all playing whack-a-mole right now, what with all the attacks on marginal.
So this is really cool to me. Um, the guy whose video I've stitched, I stitched, um, of who I'm currently responding, I'm making reference to. So he's an official priest. Did you see how he has his collar? That means that he's, not only intellectually studied like Catholicism and Christianity, but he also spiritually has learned, you know. So that's, so the caller says, "Hey, dude, not only do I know like the technical aspect of it, but I spiritually have learned from it as well and have developed." And that's why he's a priest, right? Um, so I personally believe that God has God, to me, God exists. Like, I believe that God exists, right? So, from that foundation, I can look at different people, and if God exists, right, as an argument. So, if God exists as I believe him to, right? So, God is in everything, right? So, as that occurs, other people have their own, I don't even know how to say it because I'm not like that. See how he was like really articulate about the point I was making? Yeah. But anyway, so as God exists, I'm gonna keep trying because I gave myself 10 minutes, so I got time. And I really do want to articulate this. So as God exists, and every one of us, everything, like, because before it used to be like we people, right? And then rocks or creation or the sunrise, that was just science, you know. Obviously, before that, that wasn't the case, but as humanity developed, like intellectually, they're like, oh, well, that's science, and then that's religion, right? But then, see what I mean? That's like oh, that's really complicated. Yeah, because I sincerely believe that guy is legitimate. Like everything he's talking about makes perfect sense, right? So, in that being, he too understands that God exists, So I can be like, oh, yeah, he gets it, right? Because he's articulating and it's like relevant to how I can conceive the existence of God is similar to his conception of the existence of God. Not my definition of what I think God is, because I'm just like a person, right? But like the essence that he can say what he said while I'm over here, Marxist, being like, oh my gosh, dude, you don't understand. They have used that methodology to enslave people for centuries, They've generated entire cult followings as to why we now have to have Ghostbusters. But if I listen to him and what he's saying about God, not necessarily what he, well, see, because what he represents is his manifestation of what he thinks God is in existence. See what I mean? Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily. So I'm not Christian in the sense that I don't think Jesus is going to come and save me. I don't believe that, right? That really makes me Christians are like, but that's Christ, right? But I don't believe that. I believe that God's like, hey, you are responsible for yourself. You know, when the day comes, you're gonna answer to me, not they are gonna answer on your behalf. You know, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Jesus is gonna be like, nah, man, I vouch for her. You know, he can't. It's only what I do in myself that can determine if God's gonna be like, okay, you get a pass. You know. So how? But it's a differentiation, right? It's like a human concoction of difference. He is not me and I am not him because of various multiple factors, obviously what he was talking about, you know, but also in his, oh, maybe that is a myth. Maybe that's my misunderstanding of what Christianity is. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen Christians that are like, no, I answer for myself. They're like, no, I just gotta say sorry, Jesus. Wash me of my sins. You know that. Yeah, that. But then that to me, okay, maybe that's what I disagree with. I disagree with the human interpretation of what they think someone else's idea of God should be. Yes, and that's got nothing to do with the priest. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he's a dude and I'm a chick over here. That, you know, I'm a Marxist and he's a priest. I don't know what sect he's from or whatever, so I can't speak to that. But you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, he's obviously a Catholic priest, as minimally defined. Um, yes, I'm gonna use this as my therapy session and be like, go back, listen to it, see what I'm really saying, listen to it again, and be like, oh, okay, and then analyze my own thoughts that way. Thanks, TikTok. Thanks.